Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to master cloud infrastructure, completely without the technical headache. If you've ever found yourself wondering exactly how massive websites stay online during crazy traffic spikes or how they magically recover when things break behind the scenes, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break this down in detail, but using really simple words to show you how modern businesses use AWS Auto Scaling to keep their platforms running flawlessly. So let's just jump right in. I want you to picture a really high-stakes scenario for a second. You've just launched this massive marketing campaign. It hits and your website goes totally viral. Thousands of eager customers are pouring in. And then disaster strikes. Your main server, which is completely overwhelmed by this massive traffic spike, just suddenly dies. The screen goes blank. The entire business comes to a screeching halt. Honestly, it's every business owner's absolute worst nightmare. Section 1. The load balancer problem. Okay, let's dive into why this happens. It all comes down to a single point of failure, or a SPOF. This is basically a highly sensitive part of your system that, if it fails, takes your entire application down with it. Think about it. If you're relying on just a handful of unmanaged servers and one of them breaks, suddenly all that incoming traffic gets dumped onto the servers that are left. They get overloaded, they crash, and just like that, your entire system becomes one massive single point of failure. Now, normally, the first tool people reach for is a load balancer. And hey, a load balancer is fantastic at its main job, routing and balancing incoming traffic across your servers. But we really need to look at what it cannot do. A load balancer cannot heal a broken system. If a server's motherboard crashes and it drops offline, the load balancer will just shrug and stop sending traffic to it. It can't fix the dead server, and it absolutely cannot launch a new one to handle the sudden stress. It literally just isn't built to do that. Section 2. Vertical versus horizontal scaling. So when a server is struggling under pressure, we have to scale it. But before we get into the how, we need to talk about a very, very scary word in the tech world: downtime. Downtime is that terrifying window when your service has to be taken completely offline just to upgrade your hardware. If your server is running out of memory, shutting it off to add more RAM means your business is completely halted, customers can't reach you, and you are literally losing money by the second. To deal with this, you basically have two main scaling options. First is vertical scaling. This is kind of the traditional way. You just add a bigger CPU and more RAM to a single machine. But here's the catch. In the cloud, to change a server size, you actually have to stop it, change the settings, and then restart it. And that means downtime. Plus, a single machine obviously has a physical ceiling on how big it can get. Horizontal scaling, on the other hand, is completely seamless. Instead of trying to make one machine massive, you just add multiple identical machines to share the load. Zero downtime required. Section 3. The pet versus farm rule. There's actually this really famous analogy in cloud computing that perfectly explains why vertical scaling is a massive trap for modern apps. It's called the pet versus farm rule. Think of a vertically scaled server like a fragile pet. You invest a ton of money into it, you probably give it a cute name, you get emotionally attached, and if it gets sick and dies, it is devastating. It needs constant care and downtime. Horizontally scaled servers, they are like a farm. You don't name them, they're just part of a larger herd. If one single unit fails, it is easily and automatically replaced with a brand new one. No panic. And most importantly, no downtime whatsoever. Section 4. Meet AWS Auto Scaling. To really grasp this, think about a massive platform like Netflix, or maybe a huge online retailer during a giant holiday flash sale. On a totally normal, quiet Tuesday, they might run perfectly fine on just a couple of servers. But the second a highly anticipated live event starts, traffic absolutely explodes. This is where AWS Auto Scaling steps in as the real hero. It intelligently senses this volatile traffic spike and automatically scales the environment up to 15, 20, or even 100 servers. And the best part? When the event is over, it automatically shuts them down, saving you a ton of money. So, just to summarize where we're at, auto-scaling works hand-in-hand with your load balancer to give you the missing pieces of the puzzle. While the load balancer routes the traffic, auto-scaling comes in to perfectly manage the system stress and instantly heal any broken servers. Working together, they literally save your business from crashing. Section 5. 3 core components. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds incredibly complicated to set up. But actually, it's not magic at all. It just requires 3 really simple components. First up, you need a launch template. Think of this as your blueprint. Auto-scaling can't read your mind, right? You have to tell it exactly what to build, what operating system to use, what size server you want. Second is the auto-scaling group.
This tells the system where to launch those servers in your network and sets the boundaries for how many you want. And third, the scaling policy. These are basically the trigger rules that tell the system exactly when to build a new server or when to shut an old one down.
Let's look closer at those boundaries in the auto-scaling group. We define 3 specific numbers here. Say we set the first number to 1. This represents your minimum capacity. It's your safety net. It ensures that no matter how quiet things get, you always have at least one server running. Your system will never just completely turn itself off. Next, we set another number, let's say 5. This is your maximum capacity. Think of this as your budget cap. If you get hit by an unexpected massive traffic spike, or even worse, a malicious denial of service attack, this rule stops the system from launching 500 servers and leaving you with a massive, unpayable cloud bill at the end of the month. And finally, we have a number like 2. This is what we call the desired capacity. It's essentially a floating target. You're telling autoscaling, hey, under normal circumstances, try to keep exactly 2 servers running. But remember, this number dynamically shifts up and down between your minimum and maximum based on the current stress levels of your app. Section 6, the magic of self-hearing. Okay, let's set the scene to see this in action. Picture this. You're fast asleep, it's the middle of the night, your system status is a beautiful, calm green. You have 2 perfectly healthy servers running your application smoothly. Your desired capacity is set to 2. Everything is just fine. And then, bam, alert. Server 1 suffers a catastrophic hardware crash. Maybe the underlying motherboard just gives out. It completely stops responding. Now, if you didn't have auto-scaling, your load balancer would eventually realize it's dead, stop sending traffic to it, and dump everything onto Server 2. Server 2 would quickly become a single point of failure, overload, and crash your entire site while you're still dreaming. But you do have auto-scaling. Its built-in intelligence is constantly running health checks in the background. It instantly notices that a server has gone totally dark. It does the math. Wait a second. Your desired capacity is 2, but the actual count of healthy running servers has just dropped to 1. Uh-oh, the numbers no longer match. Immediately, the system takes action. Referencing your exact blueprint from that launch template, auto-scaling automatically spins up server 3 to replace the dead one. Within just moments, it's booted up, fully configured, and seamlessly added to the load balancer. The system literally healed itself, entirely on its own, and you never even had to roll out of bed or lift a finger. There's a great quote that says, if you cannot do healing and stress management, one day your architecture will become a single point of failure. This honestly hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures why relying on manual human intervention is just a ticking time bomb for any business. The cloud simply moves way too fast for humans to manually react to every single crash or unexpected traffic spike. So we've seen exactly how AWS Auto Scaling provides this totally seamless stress management and, frankly, magical self-healing. It allows your infrastructure to fix itself while you're fast asleep. The tools to build this are sitting right in front of you. So the only question left is, are you finally ready to let go of your fragile pet servers and embrace the power of the automated farm?